Speak to us about your plans in growing your India business amid the pandemic and how it's recovering.
Absolutely. Look, we're really excited to have the opportunity to speak to you today. The bank is it's been growing quite well in the last few years in India. We really want to expand our business here in terms of partnering our domestic clients in their ambitions, not only locally, but also across the globe through our network, particularly Africa, Central Europe, Middle East. A lot of big, large Indian corporates looking to develop business there, and we want to facilitate that. An area of focus for us is clearly on sustainable finance and energy transition. We know in India, of course, a massive opportunity to develop renewable energy, and we're really at the forefront of trying to finance that particular aspect of the growth of the Indian economy, as well, of course, providing a lot of access product for our large multinational corporations wanting to get into India, just setting up bank accounts, transaction banking, trade finance. These are the sort of things that we are starting to establish in more depth, with more quality, with more of the digitalization and automation needed to facilitate the client demands as they start to invest in this incredible country that is India.
How about the wealth business, Toby? How closely are you watching it? I mean, how much interest is there, given that there's so much money sloshing around there among billionaires, millionaires?
There's a lot of money, but it's still a very nascent area of the wealth management sector. The predominance of investment by Indians would be in real estate and gold and hard assets. And so investment products, whether it be in equities or other assets, continues to grow. And we can see that becoming quite amazing. There'll be something in the order of 130 different million investor accounts in the next 3 to 5 years. So we can see that as very much a burgeoning opportunity. Having said that, we're not ready yet to really commit to how we'll go about it. As you know, we're more a B2B type provider in the investment solution space. We're a leader in some of it. And it's an area we're looking at closely, and we know in the future that the demand for assets in India will continue to increase.
As a bank, what sort of offerings have you had? Because so far your focus has been mostly foreign exchange solutions for your clients. How do you expand there? What sort of array of products or suite of products are you planning?
So on the capital market side, you're right. Foreign exchange hedging, interest rate hedging, listed securities, clearing and execution, they're areas of strength for us. We continue to advance in that area. Transaction banking, whether it's cash management, trade finance, we're developing in that area, particularly for the multinationals trying to access India in terms of investments. So we want to be partnering with them. And then, of course, in the financing and advisory area, we're looking to pivot very much towards supporting the Indian corporates in their ambitions globally, but also companies looking to develop, particularly in the areas of energy transition, infrastructure, healthcare, technology and data, all of the hot sectors, as you can imagine, and areas where we feel we can add value in terms of our structured finance capability. As you know, SocGen is really strong when it comes to renewable energy financing, and we've had some success already here in India, and we want to continue to develop that.
So Toby, what about wealth management? Is that something that is of interest as well? Is there any plan to do that? And give us a sense of sort of your hiring plans, not with just that, but generally speaking.
So I think on the wealth management side, as I mentioned, we're more like a B2B. We're more of a manufacturer of product in a large part, very successful at that, working with a lot of private banks and a lot of wealth management institutions. So it's an area which we'll look to develop, probably looking to partner or looking to develop that over the coming years. And as I mentioned, the Indian market is going to be huge, but it's still a long way from being ready to absorb some of the assets that will be in demand over the coming years. But it's an area we're looking at closely, and we'll continue to watch for further development. In terms of hiring, we'll look at selective hiring, I think, in the capital market space. As the regulations open up on structured derivatives, we'll look to enhance our capabilities there with some more onshore capability. And then further advancing on the transaction banking and the financing advisory. As our clients become more active in India, we'll become more active in supporting them.
Toby, let's get your views on the markets. I mean, the Indian market has been pretty resilient. Valuations are looking pretty toppy despite India grappling with this the surge in virus cases.
Look, I think India is stretched in valuations on the equity market. There's been, clearly an outperformance and somewhat discounting almost completely the second wave of the pandemic, which I think is a little risky, particularly in the consumer sector. On the investment type stocks, I think there's a good opportunity for long-term growth. So I think that's where the investor space is focused, to pivot into that area. Clearly, the consumer side of the economy will be impacted by the second wave and potentially a third wave if the vaccinations don't roll out quicker and the economy struggles to recover. But at this stage, investors, particularly foreign investors, still like India as a market and will continue to do so. And the projection for 8.5% to 9.5% growth is on track, even notwithstanding the second wave of the pandemic.